Week 1 is over. It was kind of a half week. I had orientation on Thursday. Then I worked Friday and Saturday. Mainly did videos and shadowing on Saturday, which was the most hectic day of the week, as it should be, because everyone's off and it's the weekend. But yeah, overall, good experience. Everyone is super nice. I mean, obviously, haven't gotten to know everyone like as close as possible or whatever, but so far, initially, everyone seems really nice. I'm really happy I went with this dealership over the other dealership I was considering initially. Yeah, but yeah, it was a good experience. I will say, with my experience at Discount Tire with customers versus, I got to talk to a couple of people because while I was shadowing this week on Saturday, the salesperson would go to like the finance manager or whatever to ask, they're going back and forth about the deal, and I got to talk to the customer in between those times just to fill in the awkward space. And between those customers and the customers I got at Discount Tire, I don't know if it was just the area I worked in at Discount Tire, but become almost completely different. Like, people at Discount Tire are they're hostile because they're like, they don't want to buy tires. Even if they like bought tires online and they're just there to install them, they're upset about it 95% of the time. You never get people that's like, yeah, I'm so excited to put these tires on today. Oh my God. Like, oh, tires is what I wanted for Christmas. Like, one person says that out of like 3 months. That's it. Most people are like, oh my God, I gotta put tires on. Are you kidding me, right? So that was mainly the experience. Or they're just like, they think you're lying, or they think you're lying most of the time if you tell them their tires are bad. Which in those scenarios, all you gotta do is just show them the bad tire versus a good tire, and they're like, is your common sense kicking in now? Right? That's all you really have to do at Discount Tire. Those people are frustrating for those reasons. People I've noticed at the dealership so far, for the 3 groups of families that I talked to, it was just they were hostile because like they came there for a car and they want a car and they need a car, but they are hostile because you're selling them anything. Like, you're a salesperson just because you're a salesperson, basically, and this is a dealership. Like, it's default, but they are the ones wanting to buy something, and you're not really talking them into it. Specifically, those people that come in for a car or for a specific car that they already saw. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. In those scenarios, I find just answering all their questions, being completely upfront, just let them make their own choice. If it's too much, it's too much for you. If it's right, it's right for you. Like, you want this, right? Like, you know that it's gonna cost money. So I mean, that's up to you, really. Yeah. But overall, shadowing was a good experience. I got to shadow the person who was leading the month so far in sales, and while he was really laid back and really cool, really nice guy, but there was some lack of communication that I thought that he probably could have been better with. And this isn't, I have no experience selling cars whatsoever, just experience talking to people, just overall. And it was just like, if you would have asked one more question, we could have avoided 30 minutes of just wasted time. But I was like, I'm shadowing. I'm just gonna watch, learn do's and don'ts, and take with a grain of salt everything. But yeah, like 1 or 2 more questions, and we could have saved a lot of time. Particularly, there was one customer where they like wanted this specific car, this used car, and then they were all like, yeah, we want to buy this car. Yeah, we want to buy this car. And he was like, okay, sure. These are all the terms. This is this. This is this. And you'll have to sign here and sign here. And they would sign. And then, like, he would explain what it is, but not too in depth. But they could read everything, they can read. That's on them. And they can ask as many questions as they wanted. I was like, okay, cool. But the lack of communication came where they did say that they wanted to bring the offer to their credit union, their bank, because they were already pre-approved. They wanted to bring that offer to their credit union and then ask them whether or not this is a good deal. Basically to start the negotiations. I haven't been there long, but I have been with a friend when she went and bought a car, like a used car, and they are sold, most of them are, all the time are sold as is, and a lot of times they don't. I'm sure you probably still can negotiate no matter what, but there's not much budging, I think, on used cars versus new cars. I think I'll know more as the weeks go by. If you guys know in the comments, like, if you've ever successfully negotiated a used car down any amount of money, let me know down in the comments. Interested to know. I'll figure it out with time, but yeah, if you guys have experience already, go ahead and let me know what you think. Yeah, but they basically wanted just how much it was going to cost and then go to their bank, who respond within 20-30 minutes, and tell them, yeah, this car is worth this money or it's not worth this money. And then they would start negotiations like that, right? And the salesperson I was shadowing, I don't know if that flew over his head or if he was just trying to skip that part, but he got their signature and everything, and he was like, yeah, you're going to need insurance for the car, and then do you have any kind of insurance? Even, it just has to be in your name, doesn't have to be for the specific car that you're getting today. And they were like, no. And the father that was with the daughter that was getting the car was like, she's not on my insurance. They said, we're not going to do that. And the salesperson was like, well, you need insurance to take the car. And the guy was like, well, we're not doing that. And what I think, right, that was the first miscommunication, because to them, they weren't committing to the car unless their bank was like, hey, that's not a terrible deal, take it, right? And to the salesperson, it was like, they're getting the car no matter what. Finance can deal with any kind of negotiations. So he was just trying to push them through. But then to them, they weren't getting the car, so they weren't willing to get insurance. They weren't willing to get insurance on the car unless their bank gave the go-ahead, until they got past that first part. So I got to talk to customers because the salesperson disappeared for a while because he was talking to people in the back, managers and whatnot. And I was like, hey guys, we were talking about a bunch of things. So I was like, hey, so like, you want to take that offer to your bank, right, before you even buy the car? And they said, yeah, for sure. It's just to get the thing started, because, and they were like, I don't want, because you guys are trying to make money and stuff. I understand that, but we still want to check in, just to get the ball rolling and stuff. And we don't want to get got, basically, is what he was saying. And I was like, okay. So I go up there. I was like, hey, what are we doing right now? I asked the salesperson. And he said, yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to come talk to him from finance and stuff about getting the insurance. I'm like, they don't want to get the insurance because they want to make sure that the price is good for them from their bank, right? He's like, yeah, I was going to have a finance guy come talk to him. I was all like, I don't think the customer knows exactly why they need insurance. Because the customer had said to me, they said, what if someone came up here on a bike or on a bus and they didn't have car insurance, they couldn't get a car? So that's why I went to go ask. I'm like, that's a good point. So that's when I figured out that the salesperson I was shadowing thought, like, they were just on two different steps, It's just like clarification needed to be had on both parties, I guess. Like, it's the salesperson just couldn't ask more questions. Like, I figured it out. I figured it out pretty quick. And I was talking to them about random, not even car-related things before. So, yeah, just a lack of communication there. So I ended up telling the manager that because the salesperson went to go eat something. I don't really know what was going on there. I haven't been there long enough, so I don't really know. They were just taking their time. And then my managers are like, yeah, we don't do that. We don't argue like if they want to take it to their bank, they gotta do that first, and then we can send them to finance and sign papers. And I was all like, yeah, I was like, I was just telling you, well, like I'll go clarify. So I went to customer and I went, hey guys, just to be clear, like you want to take the offer to your bank right before you commit to the car, just plain and simple. And they said, yeah. I said, okay. And I went back. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what they want to do. That's why they want to give insurance. Because I'm sure if they were getting the car, they would get insurance. Like, everyone knows you need insurance on a car to drive it. But they were confused on why they needed insurance just to get the ball going on negotiations with their bank. Like, it's a little confusing, but at the same time, it's like a couple of questions. I figured it out and within like 5 minutes, it was just like, it didn't have to do anything with car sales. It was just talking. That was a little weird. A little bit of miscommunication happened later as well, but I'll save that for another time. Yeah, but so I learned good things to do. I know I need to shadow people to learn like the whole process. But also I'm gonna trust my own instincts on just basic human interaction, you know, because yeah. Yeah, and then I have been talking to them, the customers, about how it was my first like day and I was shadowing, or it was like my second day and I was shadowing, and the fathers are like, you're gonna do okay, don't worry about it. And I was all like, okay, thanks. That was really nice of him. I am my biggest critic, so I'm still a little bit worried, but overall I think I'll be okay. It did give me, I don't know if my coworker will ever see this. If he does, not until years later, but him showing his lack of communication and the fact that I was able to understand it with just a couple of questions gave me confidence in my ability to possibly sell cars. Just because just gotta talk to people, and I feel like anyone can do that, you know. And if you struggle with it, write some qualifying questions down on a notepad in front of you. This is just talking to people in general. Write some questions you need to ask just to get like icebreakers, you know, just to get going. And once you're in that conversation, you'll figure it out. Why do I feel like I'm giving advice right now? Not on car sales though, just talking to people, I guess. Yeah, but it gave me confidence that I think I can do this, which is good. So week 1 is over. That was kind of a long rant. Probably should wrote some bullet points down so I didn't stumble along. But yeah, Monday's coming up tomorrow, and while I don't know the whole CRM, the system, I still don't have all logins, and I'm not signed up for everything. I think Monday I'll probably take a customer. Just because, I mean, as soon as we sit down and I know how to input the customer in the computer, as soon as we sit down, get past all that, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go grab my manager now so we can get the ball rolling on these numbers. Because I had no idea how to do that part. So even when I was shadowing the salesperson, it was just, unless I do it myself, like hands-on, I will not retain it. So it was, yeah, all that's gonna have to come with time. But I think I can start the conversation. Okay, that was my first 3 days on the job, and I will see you guys next time for an update. See ya.